As the new European Parliament holds its first plenary session, 720 members are heading to Strasbourg to start the legislature. Each of them is entitled to a monthly salary of 8,089 euros net, coming from the budget of the Parliament. And this is not the only pot of money MEPs get. A general expenditure allowance of 4,950 euros is foreseen every month. However, this amount is halved if they attend fewer than half the plenary sittings in 1 year, without proper justification. Then there is a flat rate sum covering accommodation, meals, and related expenses for each day spent in Brussels or Strasbourg by an MEP, which is an additional 350 euros. To receive this money, members of Parliament must sign an attendance register. This makes the total monthly revenue at around 17,000 euro. This number may vary from month to month. Each MEP also gets 29,557 euros per month to be used only to pay parliamentary assistants. Former members are also entitled to a pension when they turn the age of 63. It is equal to 3.5% of their salary for each full year in office.
World leaders have condemned the assassination attempt of former US President and presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump. The attack has led to an outpouring of online support. The EU's top political figures, such as EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell, have slammed the political violence, stating it has no place in democracy, while leaders of Italy, France, Hungary and Ukraine are among a slate of European politicians decrying the attack.
Замах на життя Дональда Трампа – жахливий злочин, який можна тільки засуджувати і який демонструє, наскільки серйозні виклики глобально зараз перед демократією.
A Russian government spokesperson said the assassination attempt was provoked by US President Joe Biden, claiming his administration tried removing Trump from politics.
Scenes of joy and celebration on the streets of Madrid after Spain beat England 2-1 to win Euro 2024. After a cagey first half, Nico Williams put Spain ahead minutes after the break. But there was tension when Cole Palmer equalised for England mere minutes after coming on for a substitute. The winning goal snuck in 4 minutes from full time, Mikel Oyarzabal slotting home to send fans in the Spanish capital delirious.
Una final muy sufrida, la verdad. Ha costado muchísimo los 90 minutos, pero los jugadores han salido adelante, lo han hecho muy bien. Estamos todos muy orgullosos de ellos. Un partido muy duro, pero merecíamos ganar y aquí estamos, levantando la copa.
Pride and joy were the main emotions on the streets of Madrid as fans celebrated a fourth European Championship title for Spain. Most of Romania's 41 counties have been subject to a code red for extreme heat as a heatwave continues across the country. Temperatures in several areas, including the capital Bucharest, are expected to hit 42 degrees Celsius at the weekend. Doctors advise people to stay indoors between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Forecasters are warning the heatwave will likely intensify, bringing sweltering temperatures until at least Wednesday.
In the southern Romanian town of Dabuleni, hundreds of watermelons fill trailers and carts. Some will go to the market for sale, while others will be discarded in the gutter left to rot. An oversaturation of the fruit has pushed prices down and left farmers in the lurch.
60 de bani, 80 de bani, depinde după marfă.
S-a mai stricat?
S-a mai stricat, da.
De exemplu, ăsta celui 70 de bani și nu vreau să dea. Am 4 tone.
4 tone?
Da.
Și de aruncat cât ați aruncat?
Am aruncat un transport.
Deci alte...
Da, 4 tone.
Vă pare rău?
Ne-am îmbolnăvit, nu ne pare rău.
Local growers say that watermelons ripened in the region at the same time, causing an oversaturated market. Fruit is being sold for 350 lei or 70 euro cents per kilo.
Preț bun, da, o luminiță foarte bună.
While shoppers enjoy the price, they lament how it will impact growers.
E binișor, omul muncește, trebuie să-și ia și el banul. Ce să facă?
Many locals are hoping that next season will bear more financial fruit.
The Olympic flame was at the center of attention during Paris's annual military parade for France's National Day, Bastille Day, as the capital prepares just days before the launch of the Olympic Games. The flame was escorted by 25 torchbearers and cadets. Thousands of soldiers, sailors, rescuers and medics gathered to march as the Patrouille de France flew over. The next stops for the flame include Notre Dame Cathedral.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said there's no absolute certainty that the second-in-command of Hamas was killed in an airstrike in southern Gaza on Saturday. Israel said it had targeted Mohammed Deif in the massive strike on Al-Mawasi, an area the Israeli military had declared a safe zone. Local health officials said at least 90 people, including children, were killed. Hamas rejected the claim that Deif was in the area at the time of the strike. But Netanyahu said that cracks were starting to appear in the Hamas leadership as it faced an increasingly intense Israeli military response. Israel launched its campaign in Gaza after Hamas militants stormed into southern Israel and killed some 1,200 people on October the 7th. Since then, Israeli ground offensives and bombardments have killed more than 38,000 people in Gaza. Deep beneath the streets of Paris is a hidden world. These are Les Caves du Louvre, an underground network of cellars and tunnels that were built hundreds of years ago for King Louis XIV. Back in its heyday, the cellars were the home of one of the 21 wine suppliers to the king, and the subterranean passages were essential for discreetly keeping him supplied. These days, the wine cellars host wine tasting events and have an ample stock for sale.
So the cellars that are below us currently, they were built by André Hainaut to store the wine for the king. It was built in the 18th century, and to help facilitate the delivery of the wine to the king, he built two tunnels. One of the tunnels was to transport wine from the Seine River, because at that time there was no trains or cars. Easiest way to transport wine was by boat. And then there was a second tunnel that was from here directly to the Louvre, where the king was living.
France may have got rid of its monarchy, but it's kept its passion for wine. Last year, it produced an estimated 46 million hectolitres of the stuff, according to the French Ministry of Agriculture. Regions like Bordeaux, Burgundy and Champagne are renowned for their wine production, but the rest of the world has barely scratched the surface of what France has to offer.
Most people don't know that we have over 850 grape varieties that are indigenous to us in France, and we have over 70,000 wineries. Each winemaker will have a different interpretation of the grape varieties and of their terroir, their region.
Retail sales of wine in France top 4.6 billion euros a year, with the average person drinking 47 litres of it, according to the data analysis firm Statista. These caves may no longer stock royal wine, but they're very much open for business, and have been transformed into a place where people can come and sample French wines and learn about their history. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has presented his case for continued military support to US governors. He appealed for more military aid at the National Governors Association meeting in Salt Lake City. Zelensky said, "We do not ask for your boots on the ground," and repeated an appeal for better air defense systems. His speech came after NATO members agreed on a program to provide reliable military aid to Ukraine.
As you can see behind me, the atmosphere is absolutely incredible. After Spain have just won and become the European champions, they are now the team with the most amount of trophies. They have won 4 Euro
The gloves came off for both teams after a tense first half. When the score was 0-0, England managed to equalise the score to 1-1 after Spain scored their first goal just a couple of minutes into the second half before getting their next goal just a few minutes before the end.
Best moment in my life, honestly. I don't know, I'm crying of happiness. Really happy, really happy. I have suffered a lot in this match, and also with Germany, I cried. I live in Germany, so for me it's amazing. I'm really happy about it.
Absolutely gutted. He made changes way too late. We could have done this. You know what? We've all had a great time. Berlin is the friendliest city on the planet. We've had a great time. We're loving it. We are, even though we lost, doesn't matter. But the manager needs to go.
Unfortunately for the English men's team, they did not follow in the footsteps of their women's team, who took home the Euro trophy a few years ago. New UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer joined tens of thousands of British fans in watching the match live from the Berlin Olympic Stadium.
Despite that, the atmosphere in Berlin is incredible. Live Stroud in Berlin for Euronews.